Just like Havoc, we're going to get right to work. How about we welcome the head coach of your VCU Rams, Shaka Smart. Coach, how are you? Great to have you here right off the bat, man.
I guess I'm early, but...
No, man, we love that. This is your show. Let's get right to it. How are things going with the team? And obviously the schedule's been kind of strange with, playing a game here and having some extra days off. How's the team doing?
Good. We had a great practice today, really competed, and, we're just excited about getting back on the court soon. I wish we played tonight, but, the schedule, a lot of people have been asking, what do you think of the schedule, or what do you do when you have extra days? The schedule is what it is. You don't have any control over it. You get it obviously at the beginning of the year, and you just want to do the best job you can, putting yourself in position to play really well in that next game and give yourself a chance to win.
Certainly, since the last time you were here, you guys went up to UMass and played a really, really tough game, a very tough opponent. Came up a little bit short at the end, but talk about some of the things that you liked that your squad did up in Amherst last Friday night.
Well, Greg, it was another situation where we went into an environment that the people, including the other team and the other fans, were very, very excited about us coming to town. It was yet another sellout. It was a team and a crowd that was really fired up, really energetic. They said it was the best crowd UMass has had since Marcus Camby played there.
Really?
I told our guys, I said, you guys might not even know who Marcus Camby is. Hopefully you do, but he's older than me. So, it's just, I think it's a credit to our older guys, and also, the guys that came before them, the Joeys, the Troy Daniels, the Darius Theus, and, just the perception that those guys have created of VCU. It's also, we try to get our guys to understand, hey, when you beat someone the year before multiple times and you end their NCAA hopes in the conference tournament, as we did with both UMass and St. Joe's, there's going to be a level of payback on their mind. I mean, they're going to be thinking about that. So, I think for our guys, did a good job going into that atmosphere and taking some punches early and punching back, and it really was a back and forth fight. Unfortunately for us, they made more plays than us down the stretch.
It's something you talked about on Monday when you met with the media, that you've been pleased with the way they've walked into all of these really tough road games. Is it something you're working on, either as a team individually, or are they just evolving and sort of getting used to it?
I think we've gotten better. I think we did a good job at times earlier in the season, certainly the UVA game. We really approached that game well. I think there was some earlier conference games where we were a little flat on the road early in the season, and it's not the whole team,
Sure.
But if it's a couple key individuals that aren't quite where they need to be, that makes it very, very challenging and difficult. So I think we've gotten better, but that doesn't matter until you get over the hump and you find a way to win those close games against some of the better teams in the league. Now, we got 2 road games left, 2 home games, and I think for us the focus is obviously completely on our next game at Fordham and going on the road and getting one.
The reason it was close is because you guys played so well in the first half and had that lead at the break. It just seemed like things were flowing really well from the start of the game, especially on the offensive end, although we know the defense feeds into the offense.
Well, they were and they weren't, Greg. I mean, we were up 5 at the halftime, but, you watch the tape and you certainly look at a lot of things that we would have liked to have done better. Free throw shooting, had a few too many turnovers that UMass did a good job turning into some points. So when you watch the tape, even though you're up 5 at the half, you feel like, hey, that should have been 10-12. And then in the second half, defensively, we just weren't good enough. Chaz Williams and his teammates had a lot to do with that. But you're have to be better on the road on defense to win games like that.
You address free throw shooting. Do people make too much about that? I think people look at the stats and the box scores and just see mixed free throws. They never consider what the other team shot from the line. They never consider other factors in the game. Do we all make too much about free throw shooting or a low percentage?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's a big deal. I think it's something that obviously in a close game it makes a huge difference. So I don't think people make too big of a deal out of it. I do think it's something that everyone needs to understand. I know this sounds oversimplistic, but nobody's trying to miss free throws. And nobody, I don't care what team you talk about around the country, nobody is just going to the foul line in a game without really working on them outside of the game. Now, that doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to make them. It doesn't guarantee carryover. And there is a level of pressure that comes into play for guys. But I do think free throws can win you a game. Free throws can lose a game. So you've got to make sure you do everything you can to put yourself in position to make free throws.
You sort of relayed something one of your college coaches sort of told you about, you can't get but so uptight and get the players stressed out about it.
Yeah,
they know.
I can't give you the exact quote, but
it's a family show.
When guys would miss free throws, and I'm talking about even in practice, he would yell a certain phrase, and it let you know that he wasn't pleased that you missed a free throw. But again, no kidding. I mean, none of us are pleased, and we want to make all of our free throws. We just got to keep working to get better. But you can rest assured, Javonte Reddick yesterday on an off day. Yesterday was our NCAA off day. On his own, is in the gym shooting. More than 100 free throws, getting reps up. So he wants to be better. A lot of our guys want to be better. Travion Graham has really worked at his free throws. And I think it's easy to look at the negative side of it, but, a guy like Trey, he has gotten progressively better and certainly gotten better over the course of his career. So that's all you look for is guys to improve.
The other thing that you addressed on Monday was talking about finishing opportunities when you force turnovers, because you're forcing turnovers. Is that something that's been frustrating? That's another phrase we probably use too much. Finishing, finishing around the rim or finishing the play.
That's important, Greg. I mean, it's when. Listen, if you and I are playing and I steal the ball from you, and it steals great, but it's much greater if you can turn it into points. And the UMass game was a rare game for us in that they had, I think, 7 or so more points off turnovers than we had, and that's rare. I mean, usually we win that stat. Usually that's an area where we're really able to gain ground on other teams.
With this stretch that you've had, these really tough road games against top 50, top 25 RPI teams, do you believe it makes you battle-tested for what lies ahead in March, tournament basketball?
If you look at it the right way, it does. I think it can do a lot of different things to you, and it's all a state of mind. It's all something that, as a team and most importantly as a roster of players, our guys have to look at the right way. But certainly it's something that can help you improve. You look at our team a few years ago, went through a pretty tough stretch in the month of February. I think that experience it played as big a role as anything in the run we had in the month of March.
So you turn the page now, and you have the third and 3 straight road games coming up. You go to the Bronx. You leave tomorrow to play a Fordham team who's certainly, you look at their record and you think that they're not much of a challenge, but you know different and we know different because they have some talented players.
Well, they do, and that's something that, as a team you've got to be highly aware of. I mean, you have to understand they have dangerous guys, and I think I heard in the teleconference the other day their head coach Tom Pecora saying they're expecting a sellout. So here we go again. But it's a situation that we've got to know what Fordham's approach and their mentality is going to be going into this game. They're going to be excited. They're going to be fired up. They get to go back home after playing some road games. So we got to make sure we come in with an unbelievable pride in our willingness and our ability to play defense. And I think it starts there and goes from there.
Talk about going back home. It is a homecoming for Melvin Johnson.
It is, yeah. I mean, Mel's.
Is he hyped?
He is. He likes to play it cool and act like, it's just another game. But he's excited. I mean, he's a New York kid. He's from the Bronx. Fordham's in the Bronx, and it's as much as anyone on our team. It's important for him to play well in general, but it's important. I'm saying to him, it's very, very important for him to show, hey, this is my team. This is what I can do. This is what we can do, and it's not in a selfish way at all. I mean, I think the most important thing for Melvin, in his mind, is that we win. So I love that. He's very team-oriented in that way, and hopefully he's really able to play well and help us win.
But there's a different sort of mentality when you come out of New York City. When you're a New York City basketball player, I mean, there's a confidence. I know the swag was a word we use a lot, but, I mean, he has that. I mean, part of that is, I don't want to say ego, but he wants to show that he stacks up.
He does. I mean, this is, as we all know, there's something unique about New York, and that carries over to basketball. So, Melvin, I'm just excited for him. He's really improving and getting better. Again, we've got to look at the long haul, the process for him, and he's just in his second year. So I think there's a lot of good things to come if he can just keep improving.
This is a conference game, but are you a coach who would like to try to schedule games for guys so they can play somewhere in the vicinity of their home if it works out? Or I know scheduling's really, really difficult.
You know what, Greg? That can work out both ways. For instance, we've played the last 3 years once a year in Ohio. Obviously, the last 2 years have been conference games, Xavier and Dayton. And then the year before that, we played at University of Akron, which was a return bracket buster game. And those games have worked out great for Rob Brandenburg because he's had dozens of family members come. We've won big-time road games, and he's played well. So that's kind of the trifecta. That's perfect. And if you knew that was going to happen, you obviously would schedule those situations as much as possible. But it's worked out the other way, too. I don't think Joey and Ed would mind me mentioning this. We scheduled a game their senior year at the University of South Florida. And one of the main reasons that we scheduled that game was Ed's from St. Pete. Joey's from Orlando, not far away. They were going to be able to get back and play in front of their family and get back and play a team that at the time South Florida was in the Big East on the road. Well, they played one of the worst games of their season. We lost the game in overtime. It was close, and that obviously wasn't one of the better games of our season and wasn't a great experience. So it can work both ways. I've seen it work in our favor. I've seen it at other schools go well or not go well. If you can do it, it's great. I think it was good to get Jaquan Lewis back to Nashville, early in the year. He played well. But for the most part, you just want to put your team in the best position to be successful and get quality wins when you can.
We got much, much more ahead. You're listening to the Shaka Smart Radio Show live from Home Team Grill and the Fan on ESPN 950.
Geico presents a man who just saved on his motorcycle insurance.
What up? Evan here. Question. You like apples? I'll get to that in a minute. First, check out my motorcycle. Flames? Yep. Saddlebags? Yep. Room for two? Negatory! Sorry, ladies. I ride solo. Now, wait for it. How you like them apples? Aw, don't cry. Insuring this beast was crazy easy. Called Geico and boom, saved enough to buy a sidecar. Now,
do you see a classroom? A lab? A studio? We do. At Virginia Commonwealth University, learning happens everywhere. Where will you make it real?
While Campbell was discovering what she wants to be when she grows up, Nurse Kathy was discovering ways to make sure leukemia never keeps her from being a kid. Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU, discovering the best care for kids.
And I'm judged, obviously, in the media by wins and losses. I understand that, but that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is to help our guys be the best they can be. And by the time they get out of here, really realize the potential that they have. If we do that with each one of our players, then winning's going to take care of itself. That's how I make it real. All right, what's next?
At Virginia Commonwealth University, research happens everywhere. From classrooms without walls to a campus without borders. All you have to do is jump in. VCU, make it real.
VCU stand up. You don't wanna go to war with the Rams. Join a group bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan. VCU alumni is key to victory. Gold has more benefits than Richmond has history. $25 is all it takes. Represent the Rams across the states. Discounts, pride, the benefits are stacked. Rolling with the Peppers, yeah, that's where it's at. Membership, that's the move. Build a Ram Nation, it's up to you.
I research and collect quotes. Those provide me with motivation, inspiration. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. John Keats said that. To grow, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift. Do you have the propensity to be motivated from within? That's my version of making it real.
Here you go, Joey. You received your VCU alumni discount.
Rodney, you ready for the big game tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rodney. The discount's only for VCU alumni members.
Man, it's all right. Let's go blow off some steam at the gym. Come on. Keep pushing, Rodney. I need one more rep from you. There you go.
Hey, you with the horns. Do you have your VCU alumni membership? Ram Nation, don't let this happen to you. Join VCU alumni today.
Look closely. Do you see a classroom? A lab? A studio? We do.
It's a Shaka Smart radio show, and last week, Coach, as you know, we had a pinch hitter here, Director of Basketball Operations Jesse Bopp filled in for you. You made a recruiting trip, which we'll talk about in a second, but Jesse Bopp was here, and as you know, and now everybody knows, Jesse did a heck of a job filling in for you, and he finished the show with his impression of me. Mm-hmm. Have you heard it yet?
Have I heard it? I mean, that's half the reason we hired him.
Here's Jesse Bopp from at the end of the show last week.
Now, Jesse, the Rams fall at St. Louis. You're back on the road on a Friday night on ESPN. It's a 7 o'clock game against the UMass Minutemen. You've had some time off. What's going to happen, Jesse? Shaka's in Florida. You're here. What can we really expect, Jesse? I really need to know.
That's pretty good, Coach.
Yeah, and the scary thing is he can impersonate pretty much anybody else that you ask for as good or better than that. He does a heck of a Billy Donovan. I don't know if he did the Billy Donovan for you guys, but he can impersonate me. He can impersonate. He's got a great Marv Albert.
Really?
Just terrific. He can impersonate Mike Rhodes. Most of our players. He's very good at that.
We asked him, I said, who's your favorite person? He said, the person that I'm standing next to. Like, whoever I'm next to, the person in the closest proximity. And that happened to be me last week. But he is very good. We love Jesse.
Well, he's a great people person. I mean, you want to be around people that are energy givers. Not just players, but coaches, people that you're around. And he really gives off great energy. And I feel like every organization, whether it's a team, a company, a school, has a collective spirit. And that spirit is the sum of all the energy, positive or negative, given off by the people there. And he's really given off great energy for us.
He's fantastic. He really is. And that's important over a long season and even off season, because you've said on many occasions, we work very closely together. We spend more time together than we probably do with our families. It's important you like these people, and a guy like Jesse certainly keeps it fun and loose.
No, there's no question. I mean, we do spend more time with each other than we do with anybody else, and you've got to. You don't always have to agree, but there has to be a level of respect, and it really works well when you like each other and when there's a common goal and you care about each other. And then when a guy moves on, like Mike Jones did, or Jamie and Christian did, or Will Wade did, and gets a head coaching job, now it becomes every time those guys are on, we got their games on the internet, and we're all in the office pulling like crazy for them while we're watching tape preparing for the next game. So it's just a big extended family, and it's a unique thing. I don't think a lot of jobs are like that,
right?
Where you have people that you're that close with.
You mentioned that, and Jesse mentioned you were obviously recruiting last week. We won't talk about where or what, but has this sort of quirk in the scheduling allowed you to at least take some glimpse into the recruiting? I know that's always a constant, consistent thing, but has allowed you to maybe get on the road more? Is that one positive?
I mean, it is, and it's something that different head coaches look at in different ways, Greg, but what I try to do is, as much as I can, get out there and make sure that I'm able to see some guys and be seen at the same time, because that's a lot of the recruiting. Kids want to see you there. So I've been out a lot. I'm actually going to a game tonight after the show, and it's something that is important for us because I think it's an overused saying, but it's very, very true. Recruiting is the lifeblood of your program.
Right.
So if you don't work hard on it every day and you don't have a staff that's dedicated to recruiting, you're going to fall behind. And we've been fortunate that our staff's really worked hard.
Well, we had Paul Biancardi on from ESPN, and he talked about the recruiting class that will be coming in next year, and he had praised you for being the coach, maybe the best coach in the country of recruiting, the right style of player for your style of play. I know that's something you've talked about. Maybe that's an oversimplification, but I know you're excited about these guys that you have coming in next year.
Well, you want to get guys that fit what you do, and then once you get the team that you have, so next year's team will be different than this year's team, then you have to look and see, do you want to change at all what you do to fit the guys you have? So it kind of works both ways, but the good thing is we have gotten a lot of exposure, so players know how we play. They've seen us on TV. They understand, at least in the games, what we do. What's great is when we can get them to practice. I mean, that's a really big deal for us because guys are either turned on by watching our practice, or they really like it, or occasionally someone says, I don't really want to be a part of that because maybe it's more than they're willing to bargain for.
Couple of good things that came out this week. Troy Daniels signed a contract with the Houston Rockets. How you predicted this? You said it was going to be only a matter of time.
Well, every once in a while,
you actually have a high batting average with your predictions.
Troy is, along with Darius Theus, one of my all-time favorites because those guys came in right at the beginning of our time at VCU, and they really, Troy, more than anyone we've ever had, bought into the plan. And it seems really, really simple, Greg, but he's the best player that we've had here at VCU at following directions. And
wow.
It's amazing how much better you can get if you just can follow simple directions and follow the plan. You would think, you would say, well, everybody should do that. It's easy. Well, there's some complexities there. And Troy, I'll tell you this, after Troy's freshman year, he had a lot of people in his ear telling him to transfer, including family members, because he hadn't played a lot. And then again, after his sophomore year, we went to the Final Four, but he did not play very much in the latter part of that year. He had an injury, then come back. We were kind of on a roll, playing well, and he was not in the rotation when we played in the NCAA tournament. Again, there were people saying, hey, maybe VCU is not the place for you. And Troy was steadfast in his commitment to our program and to me as a head coach. He said, Coach, whatever you tell me I need to do, I'll do. And from there, he just took off. He got better and better and better. This year, he's continued to improve. He's played for a terrific D-League coach and situation that gives him the ultimate green light to shoot the three-point shot. And he's rewritten the record books in the D-League for making threes. and now he's signed with the NBA, and obviously he's being rewarded.
Well, it's going to be great. Only a matter of time before he starts making an impact with the Rockets. You're listening to the Shaka Smart Radio Show on ESPN 950 live from Home Team Grill and the Fan. We're going to take a break, but there's been a couple of high-profile incidents at the end of games, questionable calls. Nothing new in college basketball, really nothing new in sports. I want to ask you how you, now as a veteran coach, how you've evolved in dealing with those end-of-game situations where maybe you don't necessarily agree with the call on the floor, and how you handle it, how you rationalize it. I think one of the big things is it's very easy for fans and media to look at one play in the final 10 seconds and say, that's the game. Do you believe that's the case, and how have you learned to deal with that?
Well, it's a great question, Greg. And Jim Boeheim's won 900 in some games, so I think if you asked him that question, I don't know if it's ever something you evolve completely to do. I mean, it's an emotional game, and a lot of these games are going to come down to the last possession or one or two plays at the end of the game that can make it go either way. I mean, how many games have we had lately and throughout the whole season where there was one or two possessions? So officials are doing the best job they can. I think it's really easy to villainize those guys, but and I know that's kind of part of the fun for fans, but from a coaching standpoint, that's largely counterproductive, because those guys are, again, doing the best job they can. They are who they are. You don't have anything to do with who's officiating what games or what happens from there. It's not a situation like maybe some fans think, where if you don't like what an official does, you can say, hey, I don't want him on my games. It doesn't work that way. So you might as well focus on your team. And I've been coaching in college basketball. This is my 15th year in college basketball as an assistant or head coach, and I can't remember one game that I've been a part of where there was a controversial or what we thought was a bad call at the end, that there weren't certain things that we could have done better earlier in the game that would have maybe put us in a better position when that call was made. So those are the things you need to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, no question. Have any of your coaching mentors, whether it was Keith Dambrot or Bill Brown or Oliver Purnell, do you think any of them have handled that better than others, or have been a sort of a role model for you in that type of situation?
Well, I thought really Billy and Oliver those guys were pros dealing with the officials. I mean, they were among the best. I was with Oliver one time at Clemson when he got kicked out of a game, and I'm pretty sure he did it on purpose, because he just wanted to send a team a message.
So that does happen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would imagine what Coach Boeheim did. I mean, when you run out on the court,
it's been suggested.
They obviously, coaches know what's happening there. And listen, there's a high level of emotion, and you're just so shocked sometimes when a call is made a certain way. But those guys were unbelievable at handling the officials. They really straddled the line well at working the officials, but at the same time not being so stuck on calls that it took away from coaching your team. I have seen coaches that are so caught up in the officials that it's really taken away from their ability to coach their team. And then that makes the team get caught up with calls too.
Great stuff. Really good insight. One more segment ahead. You're listening to the Shaka Smart Radio Show live from Home Team Grill and the Fan on ESPN 950.
University. Learning happens everywhere. Where will you make it real?
While Campbell was discovering what she wants to be when she grows up, Nurse Kathy was discovering ways to make sure leukemia never keeps her from being a kid. Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU, discovering the best care for kids.
And I'm judged, obviously, in the media by wins and losses. I understand that, but that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is to help our guys be the best they can be, and by the time they get out of here, really realize the potential that they have. If we do that with each one of our players, then winning's going to take care of itself. That's how I make it real. All right, what's next?
At Virginia Commonwealth University, research happens everywhere. From classrooms without walls to a campus without borders. All you have to do is jump in. VCU, make it real.
VCU stand up. You don't wanna go to war with the Rams. Join a group bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan. VCU alumni is key to victory. Gold has more benefits than Richmond has history. 25 bucks is all it takes. Represent the Rams across the states. Discounts, pride, the benefits are stacked. Rolling with the Peppers, yeah, that's where it's at. Membership, that's the move. Build a Ram Nation, it's up to you.
I research and collect quotes. Those provide me with motivation, inspiration. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. John Keats said that. To grow, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift. Do you have the propensity to be motivated from within? That's my version of making it real.
Here you go, Joey. You received your VCU alumni discount.
Rodney, you ready for the big game tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rodney. The discount's only for VCU alumni members.
Man, it's all right. Let's go blow off some steam at the gym. Come on. Keep pushing, Rodney. I need one more rep from you. There you go.
Hey, you with the horns. Do you have your VCU alumni membership? Ram Nation, don't let this happen to you. Join VCU alumni today.
Look closely. Do you see a classroom? A lab? A studio? We do. At Virginia Commonwealth University, learning happens everywhere. Where will you make it real?
The extra point for you is they service all makes and models. And now they have two locations, just east of Staples Mill and the new one at Enfield. I know you're going to love it.
8 to go, 65-46, Rams by 19. Pass right side to King, he launches a three, brick, no good. Travion Graham scrambles for the rebound and gets it, then throws it right side to Brandenburg. Elevated jumper, rise and fire, give it to him in one. And a big fist pump by the coaching staff as Shaka Smart gives a low five to Jaquan Lewis, and this crowd at VCU absolutely going nuts.
Welcome back to the Shaka Smart Radio Show. Things are already underway at Home Team Grill in the Fan, so let's head back inside for more.
Welcome back. Final segment here with Coach Smart and very special guest. Maybe the most special that we've had on the show. I will let you do the introduction.
We have the real coach.
The real coach.
Our family, Maya Smart. Welcome to the show.
How about a big round of applause for Maya Smart. Thank you, Maya, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
First off,
we were talking about officials, and Greg mentioned one of your favorite sayings during games when you don't agree with the call. Tell everyone about what you say when the official makes a call that you don't necessarily like.
I say, win anyway, Rams.
Win anyway. When Mrs. Smart doesn't like a call in a game, she just says win anyway. Where'd that come from?
It just is the only appropriate response.
I love that. I love that. So we should all just do that, win anyway, despite whatever the officials say.
The thing about it is that is the way that the guys and the team need to look at it, because the call's been made. It's not going to change, and you got to move on to what's next. So maybe we need to bring Maya down to the huddle at that point. Maya, tell us, we've had David Young on earlier in the year, and we've done, between you and I, a lot of work with Friends, but you have done much more than I have. Tell us about some of the things that you've done with Friends Association, and just talk about that a little bit.
The main thing I've done with Friends Association for Children here in Richmond is just to try to raise public awareness of the organization. It's been here for more than 140 years and does great work in terms of preparing kids for kindergarten and for success after school as they grow. So it's a wonderful organization, but not as well known as it should be given its deep roots here in Richmond. So the current thing that we're asking people to do to support that organization is to visit voteshaka.com, and through that link they can go and cast a vote for you and the ESPN Infinity Coaches Charity Challenge and help Friends win some money.
Yes, I voted today. I know that was going to be the first question. Yes, I voted.
We talk about that each week on the show. Why Friends?
Why Friends? Just again, because they do such great work. All of us sitting here on the show right now had educational opportunities that were given to us just by virtue of the parents that we were born to and the situations that they put us into. Everyone was not as fortunate to have those same opportunities, and Friends is an organization that helps kids from a variety of different circumstances succeed. So everybody needs a chance, and it's also everyone's responsibility to help everyone have an opportunity.
Obviously, it's a huge opportunity to raise a lot of money for the Friends Association. The coach that wins this contest will win $100,000 for his charity. So it's a really massive opportunity. But regardless, you guys are creating a lot of awareness for what Friends does.
Well, we want to thank everybody for voting that's voted so far, and encourage them to continue voting. Some of these schools seem like they have voting machines, but last year we made it all the way to the Final Four in the voting, and we definitely want to go as far as we can this year, because with each round that our cause reaches it to, Friends Association, there's more money that goes to that group, and it's really a extremely deserving group of kids. If you go spend time over there, you'll see they're doing terrific things for kids in our community, which in turn is going to make our community better.
Yeah,
Greg, you ask a lot of questions of me while I'm on the show, and since we have Maya here, I thought maybe we could ask her a couple questions.
All right. Basketball questions?
Well, we could ask her a lot of different things. Maya, I just wanted to hear from you. People talk about VCU basketball and the popularity of VCU basketball. What is it that you like most about the basketball program and the team here in the city of Richmond?
I'm incredibly appreciative of the opportunity that VCU gave you to pursue your dream of being a head basketball coach. So that's first, just appreciation for the school. Also, great appreciation for the fan base who has supported the program 100% from day one and just seems to grow in size and enthusiasm every season. So as your biggest fan, I appreciate the sort of broader community of fans that surrounded the program and you as the coach of that program. In terms of the basketball piece, I love the just fast pace of it. It's just much more exciting to watch your style of play than some others. I'm biased, but...
A little bit of bias, but we'll take that.
Hey,
talk about, sorry, Greg.
No, go ahead.
I'm asking the questions here, Greg.
Yes, sir.
You can jump in at anything. Maya, you're involved in a whole host of things outside of basketball in the Richmond area, and they keep you very, very busy in addition to the daughter that we have. Talk about some of the other activities that you enjoy participating in and some of your other passions besides VCU.
I have three big passions: reading, writing, and volunteering. So in terms of volunteering, I serve on the board of the YWCA of Richmond, which is an organization that, like Friends, has been in Richmond for more than 100 years. It's an organization, like Friends, that has really strong early education programs to help prepare children for school, which is something that's important to me. And it also has really unparalleled programming around supporting victims of domestic violence. both in terms of prevention, but then also support after things take place. So that's one organization I'm involved with, one of many, as you know. And then with the writing, I have my blog where I also review books, my third passion. So.
Can you tell the listeners where to go to see your blog?
MayaSmart.com.
It's awesome. And she's a great follow on Twitter. You had a great link to an article today about conscientious people. That was really, really good. And the traits of conscientious versus non-conscientious people, how they can still be productive because of their creativity levels. So I learned a lot from her links, her tweets.
Well, I appreciate you following.
As do I. As do I. Well, we appreciate you coming on today. And, I think, Greg, for me, I'm just fortunate that I have a family that's so supportive of what I do in my job. It's a unique job in that it is never-ending, and it's a situation where I'm overseeing a lot of people, and then we travel a lot, and we go to all types of different places. So when you have a better half that's so supportive and is always on your side, that makes it a lot better. But at the same time, she keeps me on my toes too, because when we come home from a tough game, the response that I get from Maya is normally, "Hey, what are you going to do next?" And that's
Win
really
anyway.
That's really what it's all about.
I love it. And folks can get a small glimpse into sort of the behind the scenes of what you guys go through on Saturday. CBS is airing their Men of March special, of which it's going to be Saturday at 1 o'clock on CBS. And I know they spent some time at your house and spent some time with you guys. The part of Coach Smart is 1 to 1:30, and then Billy Donovan is 1:30 to 2. So it's kind of unique that they lumped you guys together. And this special Men of March obviously is going to be really, really cool. They were here about 4 or 6 weeks ago shooting all that video.
Yeah, that was a lot. I mean, they were here for a long time, and it's amazing how much video they have to shoot to edit it down to a half hour or even a little bit less than that. So, that's something that I'm not going to watch it at 1 o'clock on Saturday, because we'll be getting ready for obviously for the game. But, I think it'll be something that people will enjoy watching and maybe get a glimpse of what we do in a more personal level.
It's going to be really, really cool. That's Saturday, 1 o'clock on CBS, Men of March, featuring Coach Smart. And we're going to wind down things here. I know you're excited about making the trip to Brooklyn and getting back in the win column.
I am excited, yeah, and our team is too. And, for us, it's 6 days in between games. So, at this time of year, guys would much rather play than practice. But at the same time, they understand there's a process that goes into getting ready to be the best we can be. And, that's what we're in the middle of right now in practice. We've got one more day of practice and, get on that trip and get up there. And we're excited to take the floor. And, fortunately, it's on national TV again so people can watch. And, just really, really looking forward to that game.
Great stuff. Maya, thank you.
Thank you.
Great stuff. VoteShaka.com. If you haven't voted today, make sure you can.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks,
for
Coach.
everything, and we'll see you next week.
Great stuff. Coach Shaka Smart and Maya Smart. They'll be on the road to the Bronx for tomorrow night's game, Thursday night's game against Fordham, and then back at the Siegel Center on Saturday.
Discovering what she wants to be when she grows up, Nurse Kathy was discovering ways to make sure leukemia never keeps her from being a kid. Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU, discovering the best care for kids.
And I'm judged, obviously, in the media by wins and losses. I understand that, but that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is to help our guys be the best they can be, and by the time they get out of here, really realize the potential that they have. If we do that with each one of our players, then winning's going to take care of itself. That's how I make it real. All right, what's next?
At Virginia Commonwealth University, research happens everywhere. From classrooms without walls to a campus without borders. All you have to do is jump in. VCU, make it real.
VCU stand up. You don't want to go to war Join a group bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan. VCU alumni is key to victory. Gold has more benefits than Richmond has history. $25 is all it takes. Represent the Rams across the states. Discounts, pride, the benefits are stacked. Rolling with the Peppers, yeah, that's where it's at. Membership, that's the move. Build a Ram Nation, it's up to you.
I research and collect quotes. Those provide me with motivation, inspiration. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. John Keats said that. To grow, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift. Do you have the propensity to be motivated from within? That's my version of making it real.
Here you go, Joey. You received your VCU alumni discount.
Rodney, you ready for the big game tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rodney. The discount's only for VCU alumni members.
Man, it's all right. Let's go blow off some steam at the gym. Come on. Keep pushing, Rodney. I need one more rep from you. There you go.
Hey, you with the horns. Do you have your VCU alumni membership? Ram Nation, don't let this happen to you. Join VCU alumni today.
Look closely. Do you see a classroom? A lab? A studio? We do. At Virginia Commonwealth University, learning happens everywhere. Where will you make it real?
While Campbell was discovering what she wants to be when she grows up, Nurse Kathy was discovering ways to make sure leukemia never keeps her from being a kid. Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU, discovering the best care for kids.
And I'm judged, obviously, in the media by wins and losses. I understand that, but that's not my number one goal. My number one goal is to help our guys be the best they can be. And by the time they get out of here, really realize the potential that they have. If we do that with each one of our players, then winning's going to take care of itself. That's how I make it real. All right, what's next?
At Virginia Commonwealth University, research happens everywhere. From classrooms without walls to a campus without borders.
So much to Coach Smart, to Maya Smart. Again, go to voteshaka.com to vote for Coach Smart and the Friends Association of RVA in the ESPN Infinity Coaches Charity Challenge. Coach is doing well, but want to get some more votes. Joined by the voice of the Rams, Robbie Robinson. And, you know, it's interesting. Coach talked about this in the show. Who are you pointing to? Is this the Tonight Show?
No,
is this
I'm sorry.
Dean Martin roast?
I'm actually doing an imitation that only the real inside Ram fans would know.
Okay. They
my bad.
That's okay. This has been a brutal stretch. I mean, this has been a stretch that you could say that there's very few teams in the country that have had to play this type of schedule. Not excuses, but just saying, what are the benefits do you think of playing this stretch of 6 straight top 50 RPI teams and playing these road teams where you're going into sold-out hostile environments?
I don't know of any other situation that's going to be harder for the Rams for the rest of the year, period.
Right.
Now, does that mean that I just don't. I mean, to go there's not 15 teams in the country, Greg, that could have gone to UMass and won on Friday night. And I'm not just saying 15 like regular. I'm saying 15 teams from the number 1 team in the country to
Sure.
all the way to 350. There aren't 15 of those that would go to UMass and win that game. And so you look at it, and you know me, I'm always a glass half full kind of guy. You lose by basically a possession at UMass, a possession by St. Louis in the most hostile of atmospheres you could possibly imagine. Well, when you start translating that to a neutral site or back at home or a bigger neutral site, you have to feel confident about the way your team's going to perform in those situations, considering everything that happened around those games at St. Louis, at St. Joe's, and at UMass. You're really 3 possessions away from being 3-0 in all 3 of those games, and who knows at that point. So I'm very bullish on this team in a huge way.
Right.
I think when you compare, and people love to compare. Everybody loves to compare. I mean, what were we at this time last year? Well, last year, and trust me, I've been there. I've sat in the seats. I haven't missed a spot in a long time. It always doesn't sound good, but I've been there. I was at St. Louis last year. It was not a lot of fun, okay? It wasn't. Well, this year is a 1-possession game, and St. Louis is a lot better than they were last year. So when you compare that to last year's VCU team and this year's VCU team, last year, here's Megan Miller right there. Last year, basically blown out. This year, 1-possession game. Right there at the end. Could have gone either way. Let's go throw another one out there. Temple. We go to Temple last year.
Yeah.
Right? You remember that? I remember going to I was there. I was at Temple. It was a national televised audience. Well, you know what? It was a tough game for the Rams, and we did not win. So we go to a very similar atmosphere this year in UMass, and we lose by a possession, basically. That's the comparison. That really is. Now, these last 4 games for VCU obviously are important. I mean, they just are. I mean, they're important games, and, you want to get back on, you want to win on Thursday, but I feel really good about this team, and anybody that's gnashing their teeth or biting their fingernails, I just think they need to take a step back and realize, this conference it's beyond legitimate. It is. I mean, I'm telling you what, Greg, they could get 6 teams in the tournament. It really could get 6 teams in the tournament.
Jerry
It's not
Palm
crazy.
has 6. In his latest projection earlier this week, he had 6, with Dayton being the 6th, and you are in the last 4 out.
So they could so really 7 theoretically
are in the discussion. If you
7 are in the discussion. That's crazy. I mean, and we all assigned to the gospel of Jerry Palm. So I mean,
I'm a big Jerry Palm guy.
So it just. And I think last year was also difficult. Our fan base, their first taste of the A-10 was UMass at home, St. Joe's at home. Those were 2 places that when you go on the road is difficult. And so I think we're still kind of learning exactly what it's like to play in this conference, and we're finding out that it is not easy. But I think our guys, despite the results, are playing in a way that if you're looking towards the future, the near future, you should feel really good about it.
I like to steal a line from Virginia Tech football coach Frank Beamer, who always likes to say, as you're kind of coming down the stretch, usually when they hit November, there's a lot of football left. Let's see how it plays out. And, I mean, what he's saying is when you think you've got it figured out, you don't. And honestly, tonight Dayton plays St. Joe's. Very critical game.
Where is that game?
In Philly.
Okay.
In Philly. It's a critical game. And so, people are looking at what their team wants to do, and then there are other teams in the conference. The point is it's going to be fun. Strap it on, enjoy the ride. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
And plus,
but it's going to be fun.
And how great is that game? How interested are you in that game? That's got some national implications.
Yeah.
And I think the fact we're in this league and that game's on and it's a nationally implicated game, that's fantastic. I mean, otherwise we're like, who knows what would be happening on a random Tuesday night. But I agree. There's a ton of hoops to be played. Fortunately for us, we've got a couple games at the Siegel Center against really good teams, and then we've got to go to the Robins Center. So the story is not nearly written on this basketball season yet. And what we've learned, if anything we've learned at VCU, is you never know what's around the corner with this team. And you're one hot streak away from doing something unbelievable. And I think that to me, when I look at it, is still very much a part of what could happen this year.
Obviously, you go to the Bronx we'll leave tomorrow to play on Thursday, and then Saturday certainly once again has the potential to be a very special atmosphere. St. Louis coming in, and obviously Shakaville is going to be out there with the students, and there's a lot of fun things planned for Saturday's home game against St. Louis.
It's we get these. I mean, going to the Siegel Center no matter what is a treat, but every now and then the people really show up, and I think our fans is going to be one of those electric iconic atmospheres that we look back at, like, the Butler game. And
Sure.
The Oklahoma game was one of those as well. And I think it's going to be that way because when our fans get mad, we're a little bit like the Incredible Hulk.
You don't like me when I'm
make us
angry?
angry. You wouldn't like us when we're angry, and we're not real thrilled with St. Louis these days. We just aren't, and we're ready. I think a lot of different things are at stake, but I think our fans are going to be ready to really take out any kind of pent-up St. Louis frustrations on the Billikens, and that's going to be great. No, you're right. Shakaville's going to be great. We're getting to where it gets a ton of fun, and fortunately, we've got some home games and then one in Richmond that'll do that. So, are you ready? I mean, do you feel like you're ready?
I think everybody's ready for VCU to be back home. I think all the fans are ready for VCU to be back home.
We haven't been home since the 12th of February.
Yeah.
That was like 4 snowstorms ago.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
They hadn't even started the Olympics yet by the time we were. No, they probably had.
They
but
probably
it was close.
just started.
All right.
Well, it's going to be fun tomorrow night. I know you'll be on the call on Ram Radio, or Thursday night. I keep saying tomorrow night. Thursday night with Ram Radio, and then, of course, a very exciting moment on Saturday as St. Louis comes to town. Thank you, Robbie.
Thank you, Greg. Have a great evening.
Thanks so much to Coach Smart and Maya Smart. You've been listening to the Shaka Smart Radio Show live from Home Team Grill and the Fan on ESPN 950.